And I did, and shared with him some videos that you took while we were here.
Yep.
And I just sent them over to him. And he said, I need to see you immediately. And we got an MRI immediately. And sure enough, there's a brain tumor again. Just within the last week and a half.
Okay.
It's like I don't have to do that like countdown or like go or tap my
on
legs.
The bike or on anything?
On the bike.
Good.
On anything. Yeah, the initiation process is like natural now.
So you're not counting for any task?
I'm not counting for any task.
Oh, that's
which is weird.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably weirder when I was.
No, I
Yeah, when
understood
people
why.
are like, what was she talking about? I'm like, we're gonna go to the copy machine. 3,
1, 2,
2, 1.
Yep. What year was it back when you had your first brain tumor?
So my first brain tumor, it probably started way before this. It grew, it was very large. It was larger than my fist. So it was 2012 that I had a surgery to remove it after having had a grand mal seizure, and was taken to the hospital, and they found the mass right away. And I had an amazing neurosurgeon who removed it, but it took anywhere between 6 months and a year to really get my walking back down, to be able to coordinate tasks that would pass kind of that midline. Things like just coordination wise. And then since then, my gait has always been a little bit off, and my visual depth perception, those kinds of things were affected. But slowly over time, I had enough coping mechanisms and went to enough therapies that I was able to improve and get better. So I was back to dancing and doing great, but seizures started again probably last year.
Okay.
And they were increasing, and I had had so many seizures that I ended up rupturing several discs in my back. Just all of a sudden, they decided to give out. And I ended up bedridden for about 3 to 4 months over the summer of 2020. I picked a good year to be out of commission.
You did. There wasn't a whole lot going on.
There wasn't a whole lot going on. So I used that year to stay in bed and have several back surgeries, and that's when I first came to you guys.
Yep, so we met in the summer of 2020.
Yeah.
After a lumbar fusion, which is all we knew about each other at the time.
Right.
And you came in and you're like, yeah, so I kind of had 3 surgeries within 1 week because I kept having seizures.
Yes.
That's when we knew it was a good thing you found, at least me, for the neuro side of it.
Right.
Because this was going to be a little bit more than back surgery.
Right.
So
and at the time, I didn't realize this. I just thought this is back surgery recovery.
Yeah.
But it was taking so long. And I was actually, wouldn't you say I was really making some gains?
We made huge progress for the first 2.5 months.
It was amazing. It was just this trajectory that was it was increasing. It was fantastic. I felt more skilled, and very rapidly just started losing any ability to even be able to lift things, to know my left side from my right side. Which foot comes next, I have no idea when I'm walking. I relied completely on that walker with a death grip in order to be able to get from the car inside. And then within a week, I would say, it was to the point where there was I did not understand anything that was going on with my body. It felt like it was completely out of control.
Yeah.
And that was accompanied by dystonic movement.
Yep.
And there was so much of it that you said, hey, it's probably time. I can't make a real call on this, but I really think you should give your neurosurgeon or your neurologist a call.
Yep.
And I did, and shared with him some videos that you took while we were here.
Yep.
And I just sent them over to him. And he said, I need to see you immediately. And we got an MRI immediately. And sure enough, there's a brain tumor again, which was so unsettling. It was, it's been 8 years. You hope to get past this certain, 10 to 12 year range. And it was 8 years, and I thought, oh, brother, this thing could be malignant. We had the surgery done within the week. And I mean, it was pretty bad in terms of, they were saying you're going to probably end up at a movement disorder specialist, maybe down at St. Joe's. We can look into what kind of things might be causing all of that. So I had the brain surgery at the end of December.
Yep.
And afterward, it was very similar to the first time around, with a lack of understanding of where is my left side, where is my right side. The pathways were just so crossed.
Yep.
And there was a lot of left neglect, not even knowing where my left was in space. So the hard part about it this time around was how much weaker I was. The first time I could kind of recover with the strength of what I had as a younger person. This time it was all those back surgeries, the seizures, this. Nevertheless, I started coming here as soon as I finished with home health, and I still had a ton of left neglect. I still had a lot of things that weren't, I had to count, you helped me to count in order to initiate movement. The left side just did not understand that it was time to go or time to start anything.
The foot or the hand, neither of them really wanted to come with.
Neither of them. And the biggest challenges, and I still struggle a little bit, are visual.
Yes.
So if things are the same color and I need to go from a black surface to another black surface, that's challenging because I can't really tell the difference as to where the two are.
And that could be from the first one and then worsened by this one.
Correct, yeah. So, but I am psyched. I did not know if I was ever going to be able to go for a walk again with my kids. It's overwhelming. I try to stay as positive as possible. But when I was asked right after surgery, like what your goals are, I was like, well, I want to make it to the mailbox. And we don't have a big house, so the mailbox isn't that far. So I want to make it to the mailbox. I want to be able to take my little guy for a walk around the neighborhood. I want to be able to do my job in such a way that work with special needs kids where I can still be available to them and not be in pain. And the cool thing about this whole thing for me was to have this kind of disability firsthand, and then to be working with children, students, adults who have had disabilities their entire lifetime. We all had something in common, so I could come to them and say, I get what you're talking about. I'm really feeling that today. And we're cheering each other on because we're all going to OT and we're all going to PT, and everybody's making gains, or we have some losses, and then we learn how to process those together. I would say that being at Spooner has changed the game for me. I think the biggest thing obviously is your expertise and knowledge, particularly with the neuro end of things, because you can go and try these exercises that are on pieces of paper or on the internet, but to know, okay, you're going to have complications due to the neuro side of this, let's specifically work on this smaller task, is not something that I would be able to know on my own. And then to just kind of have the good attitude that the techs have and all that kind of thing, and the people that I've met here, that I've worked with quite a few, they're cheering you on. You know that you guys want for me what I want for me and for our family. And it just feels like we're working together toward a goal. And I've had days in here where I sat down and just cried. Yep. We found a chair a little off to the corner where you're blown away by what your body kind of feels like it's abandoned you, or that's how I felt it abandoned me. But it's a matter of I remember talking to a couple people in here, and they were saying, I want you to remember what it was like just 2 weeks ago and what you're able to do right now. So you're crying right now because you're not making that next step, but 2 weeks ago, this was a celebration where you are. And it kind of puts things in perspective to keep things super positive. And since then, I feel like I'm not only walking the neighborhood with my son, I'm Nerf gun pelleting him, we're running around the backyard, we can do things. There's no walker, no cane. I'm participating in life as fully as we can during a COVID season, COVID year, and it feels amazing. It just feels amazing.
So what are your goals now?
Oh gosh, everything. I feel like the world is like my oyster now. So it's one of those things where I would love to be able to go on a hike again. I can't wait to there's a gateway trail, and it has a really, much more beginner type thing, but I want to get out there in nature. We live in a beautiful place. I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to visit my older kids at college and walk around their campuses with them and just enjoy time together with them. In my office and in my work, sometimes I work with kids who are really challenged with behavioral type things, and I really want to be able to manage and handle some of those things. I was very skilled, and even though I'm a skinny person, it's very skilled in being able to calm and hug and hold, and those things now would not be things that I could do safely. So I would ultimately love to be able to participate in that even more fully. But if those things don't come, if this is where I am and this is the new me, I feel as if I'm in a place where I know that everyone here has been so invested in my progress, as invested as I've been and as invested as my family has been in this, that no matter what the outcome is going to be, that I know that I gave it the very best shot I could, and I'm with the very best people that I could possibly be with. And that, I think, is something where I know no matter what this outcome is, that I will have such peace around it. Yeah.
We're just lucky to have you here. We're lucky you came in after your back surgery to get you back to where you wanted to be. And you're right, this team is very invested in you. That
I'm
was
very blessed.
not the phone call we wanted in December, and we all waited with held breath to hear after surgery. And the day that you came back for your eval, post-brain tumor removal, I mean, every single one of us was happy to see you walk through that door, and that was only a month ago, and that was on a walker.
Yeah.
And we're on the elliptical, and we're
know.
doing 12-inch step-ups, and we're just blessed to be able to work with you twice a week.
And I have this beautiful headband.
It's gorgeous. I love it. You style around it well.
It's natural.
But no, we're just lucky to have you here to get you where you want to go, and I think a hike is completely realistic.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.